Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to our web scraping tutorial on Velocity 360. In the last video, we scraped some data from the scores of the NBA games of a given date, and we identified the winner and the loser. So in this video, we're going to extract the actual scores as well, how many points each team scored, and then we're going to output the data as a standardized JSON format rather than plain HTML. So let's get started. So right now, here is where we left off. And if I run the site from localhost, run the server, run the site, we have the, whoops, excuse me, we have the winners and the losers of each game accurately being identified, but we don't have the scores. So let's grab these right now. So if you look at our sample HTML from the content, you'll see that we got the winner and the loser from this tag right here. This is the winner example, but the loser is the same HTML format. So we grab the first child, which is a TD, and then we grab its child, which is an anchor tag, and then we grab the content from that. Well, the next child is where the score is contained. So what we want to do is grab the next child right here, and then grab the content, because there's no child inside, it's just a raw data tag, so a raw tag. So let's say score content. And then try console logging the data from that content. And here we go. So now we have Atlanta with 113, Houston with 108, San Antonio with 102, and all that's confirmed. So this data is accurate. So now let's package this up. Let's see here. What we're going to want is console log, the content data. This is the team. I'm going to make this a little bit more readable for the sake of just readability. So I'm going to say this is team. Okay. And this is going to be the score. I think this is just a little bit more readable. And then let's console log both. Team. Score. Okay, so now we have the teams and their respective scores just matched up. And that's exactly what we want. So now let's package this into a JSON response. So what we want to do here is create a game object as well as a scores array. like so. And every time we make a pass through one of these tags, we want to populate the game object with the team and its respective score. However, we don't want to just keep on doing that every time the entire score fills up. Basically, when we have the winner and the loser, we want to enter that game into the array scores. So what we want to do is check the length of the keys. And if it's 2, that means we have a winner and a loser. That means it's done. We have the entire game. So we want to take the scores array and push the game into it and then reset the game variable. Basically start over. And then what that should do is give us an array of scores. Let's console log that down here. And let's see if that does what we want. Wait, let's Okay, I'm not sure what happened there, but it's working here. We have the scores right here. And all the data matches up. We have Golden State 133, Clippers 120, Philadelphia 86, and all the data matches up over here as well. Okay, so now last but not least, let's get that array outputting as JSON so that when we hit this endpoint, we see just an array of scores rather than, oh, it happened again. That's not good. So 46. Okay, it's saying that this is not defined, so let's make this conditional. If TD is not null, then we will run all this logic. And we'll try that again. The children is not defined, so we'll just do that then. Okay. Cool. So here now we have the scores just given to us as pure JSON. So that's pretty much it. Now, excuse me, beg your pardon. Now we have the scores from the website given to us in raw JSON, so that we can use this in our site, our application, as you normally would in a RESTful style API. So that makes it a lot easier for you to process data on your backend, on your projects, using content from a website. However, as you can see, it's a little bit temperamental. Web scraping can be a little bit tricky. It's very detail oriented, and it's very tricky when the website itself is unstable. By that I mean, do the developers of the website, the source website, change the design a lot? If so, then you have to keep up by changing your logic in here. So one of the reasons I pick the sites that I do, basketball reference, is because I look for sites that are relatively stable in terms of design. And then I can be confident that whatever logic I set up in the scraping is going to be good at least for a while. So sites like this are pretty stable. I find that more content-driven media sites, they change their design a lot. So for scraping basketball scores, a lot of people would consider ESPN a good source, which it is. Um, Obviously, their scores are up to date, but the the problem is that the format, the visual format, the HTML changes frequently. Even a small change, it doesn't have to be big, but just a small change will break your scraping code. So you have to be very considerate of where you're sourcing your data from. But then once you find a good source, just scrape it like we did over here, and then you can use that data. Um, Obviously, there's also legal ramifications about where you're getting your data, so I'll leave that to you. But this is a quick, simple demo on scraping. Hopefully you were able to get it work as well. And one thing I recommend you try next is making this more dynamic. If you have noticed, we hard-coded the day, month, and the year. So what you really want to do is make the endpoint selectable so that you can scrape based on a determined date. So as a user or a programmer, I should be able to enter a date as query parameters, day, month, year, etc. Yeah, day is 1, month is 2, and year is 2017. So by doing this, I should see the scores from this month, day, and year rather than what I've hard-coded in here. So I recommend you try to put that in next as an additional feature. And then after you get that done, start looking at other data sources. So, or even use the same site for a different sport. Well, wouldn't be the same site, but maybe like basketballreference.com. Oh, I'm on basketball reference, baseballreference.com. And try scraping the scores off this as additional exercise. So that's it. I hope you got this working. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next tutorial on velocity360.io.